President Uhuru Kenyatta and his elder brother, Raila Odinga, are clearly outwitting the Deputy President, Dr. William Samoei Arap Ruto, as far as Mount Kenya politics is concerned. And I want to ask you a simple question. Assuming elections were held today in Mount Kenya region, do you think Raila Odinga will get the 2% he got in the last two elections? I'm just asking. The truth of the matter is that if elections were to be held today in the mountain, Raila Odinga will not get 2%. Raila Odinga will not get 10%. And Raila Odinga will not get 20%. The truth of the matter is that Raila Odinga is likely to get 20% and above. That's the honest truth. The other truth is that if elections were to be held today in the mountain, William Ruto will not get the 90-something% Uhuru got. He's not going to get 85%. But he might get 80% or less. Those are the realities. And the other reality of life in this country is that William Samoei Arap Ruto cannot win the presidency of the Republic of Kenya without the support of the mountain. And that's why the Deputy President is working so hard to hold Mount Kenya together in his basket. But Uhuru and Raila, in my view, are shocking him. This week, Rigathi Gachagua attended some events in Kiambu County, the home county of President Uhuru Kenyatta. And he was heckled badly.
Hii ni mkutano ya UDA. Mwende mtafute Raila Odinga na Martha Karua mkuje mfanye mkutano wenu. Endelea mheshimiwa.
The same week, key allies of the Deputy President, that is Moses Kuria and Governor Kabogo, also announced that they will no longer participate in the Hustler Express caravan, which was being headed or spearheaded by Rigathi Gachagua.
Niwaambie ndugu zangu, mimi nimerudi hapa kwa sababu ninataka kuanzia safari mpya. Na sipendi kwenda bila kufika nyumbani. Mimi ni mtu ya hapa.
In this video, I want us to look at why I strongly believe that Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta are outwitting, outmaneuvering, and outsmarting William Ruto as far as Mount Kenya politics is concerned. The truth is, if elections were to be held, William Ruto will still emerge the winner. But he's being outwitted. But before we get into all those details, in case you're watching this channel for the first time, I want you guys to take a second or two and click that subscribe button, so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue. Thank you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. And I want to make a request to you guys. One request. Please give this video a thumbs up, share the video, and also drop your comment. But for this particular one, please just click that thumbs up button. Now let us get back to main business. The truth of the matter is that the 2022 general election is going to be determined in two main regions. That is the Mount Kenya region and the Luhya Nation. Who is going to win in those two regions? And by what percentage? Are we going to witness high turnout in the mountain? What about the Luhya Nation? I was looking at some figures here. Registered voters in Mount Kenya. And that's why you need to understand. You need to understand why it's key. Mount Kenya, we have Mount Kenya East and Mount Kenya West. Raila Odinga is today in Meru County. The reception is fantastic for a man, because in the last election, I used to accompany Raila Odinga, like today I would be in Meru, by the way. And I remember sometimes passing in those centers, and we were just looking at you like, who are these? What are these people doing here? But today, Raila Odinga's rally in Meru is full. Meru County has 780,000 registered voters. Tharaka has 234 registered voters. Embu has 337 voters, registered voters. That makes it 1.36 million. You go to Mount Kenya West Nyandarua with 62,000. Nyeri has 492,000 voters. Kirinyaga has 378. Muranga has 628, and Kiambu has 1.3 million. Total of voters in Mount Kenya is close to 4.5 million. That's huge. So it's a region you can't ignore. So if Ruto can consolidate those votes, consolidate the mountain, consolidate Rift Valley, and compete with Raila Odinga, he will be home and dry. But this is what President Uhuru Kenyatta is denying the deputy president. The deputy president realized something very early in the day, and because of his strategy, he was able to consolidate the mountain. The first thing why he succeeded was because of what was called Yangu Kumi, Yako Kumi. The truth of the matter is that after the handshake, William Ruto realized that Uhuru and Raila were up to something. He knew these guys were not going to support him. So he ended up trying to consolidate the mountain, because he understood that 4.5 million votes are not jokes. So he went and consolidated the region, inserted them against the the president. So the first thing which made that possible for him was Yangu Kumi, Yako Kumi. The truth of the matter is that the voters in the mountain were really undecided. And they wanted to do one thing, betrayal tag, because there was this story in the mountain that the Kikuyu nation cannot vote for someone who is not one of their own. And they had promised to support Ruto. So failing to support Ruto would have meant that they were going to betray Ruto. And of course, they didn't have someone else running. So that Yangu Kumi, Yako Kumi is something which helped the DP consolidate his support base in that region. Then there was also the Raila Odinga factor. Remember, these are people who have always been told that Raila Odinga is a bad man. So Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga contested in 2017 bitterly. Then after that election, the handshake came. So it was very hard for the mountain to accept Raila Odinga, because for the last 15 years, they've always been told this guy is mad. Uhuru even went further and hired Cambridge Analytica just to destroy the image and reputation of Raila Odinga. Some people in the mountain never even believed that Raila Odinga is actually a human being. I remember at one point when I was still actively involved, and just after the handshake, a group of youths went to meet Raila Odinga, Jubilee youths, and I was with them, and they were like, oh, this is Raila. Kumbe is just a human being. And these are people who actually went to school. So what about people who didn't go to school from those regions? The other thing was Jubilee failure. There was a strong feeling that Jubilee government had failed. And the truth is, Jubilee government failed in the first term, but they managed to use the PR to portray Uhuru and Jubilee as someone who has succeeded. In fact, in the last election, they even had what they were calling Jubilee portal of lies, where you would go and Jubilee would tell you that in Nyakach, my area, there's this road which has been done. There's this hospital which has been constructed. Then you go there, there's nothing. So after the election, then these people realized, okay, kumbe nothing really happened. Then there was the early campaigns by the DP. The deputy president realized that he needed to consolidate the mountain. He needed to traverse the country. So after the election, for him, he just began his campaign. So he interacted with the people. He was the only guy outside there interacting with the people. So people got used to him. In the mountain, he would raise funds here and there. And then there was the absence of President Uhuru Kenyatta. The truth is, Uhuru Kenyatta deserted his voters. He disappeared. I don't know whether he's still there, but Uhuru Kenyatta deserted his voters. So the fact that he deserted these people and William Ruto made himself available is the reason. I was talking to a member of parliament, and he was telling me that the majority of leaders from the mountain had issues with Uhuru Kenyatta. Not that they loved Ruto, but the truth is they could not reach the president. Anytime they tried reaching the president, someone like Moses Wekura could not reach the president, but they could easily reach out to the DP, and the DP would sort their issues. Someone like Ndindi Nyoro, I'm told, tried to invite the president to his constituency severally. The president failed, but when he reached out to the DP was willing to came, and that's how their rapport began. Then there was this dynasty versus hustler, which was picking up so well. And in fact, the deputy president messed it big time when he now began talking of the bottom up, because the hustler narrative and dynasty was so clear. So bringing in economic aspect to it, he destroyed it. But the question is, how did President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga manage to change the tide against the deputy president? To an extent that if elections were to be held today, Raila Odinga can actually get 30%. And if Raila Odinga can get 30% of 4.5 million votes, that's huge, right? So how did it happen? In my view, the reasons why Raila and Uhuru are outwitting the DP could be grouped into two. The first group is William Ruto's mistakes, and the second group is what I call Uhuru Kenyatta strategies. So let me begin by trying to explain to you William Ruto's mistakes, which is actually making Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta outwit him. The first mistake the DP made was early campaigns. And of course, it's debatable. Most people believe that the DP is where he is today because he went out early. But the early campaigns had its disadvantages. The first disadvantage is that it made William Ruto's message to be stale. The truth is, as things stand today, there is nothing on earth which the deputy president has not said about Raila, has not said about Uhuru. Nothing. So he kept on saying the same thing. So saying the same thing for 4 years, people even got tired of the message. To an extent that now there's nothing really, like if the DP were to call a press conference to address an issue, I mean, most Kenyans would predict what he's likely to say. So the fact that his messaging got stale was because of his early campaigns. During that time, the president was just quiet. The second mistake which happened, in my view, is trying to blame Uhuru Kenyatta and Jubilee government for failures. You know, sometimes when you have a weapon, you use it at the right time. Politics, that game, is an art of timing. His timing was wrong. So he went to the mountain, told them how Uhuru, you see, what he was very strategic. He would go to a place, let's say a church service, have his team there. His team would attack the president, how the president has failed, blah, 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 blah. When it's time to talk will arise, the DP would just sit down. But they kept on constantly accusing President Uhuru Kenyatta and Jubilee government of failures. So Uhuru Kenyatta, wherever he was, just took notes. Okay, wanasema barabara sijajenga. Okay, what about coffee? Okay, what about this? So Uhuru took note. By the time they realized, all those things they were accusing Uhuru of had been fixed. So if you're accusing Uhuru Kenyatta of coffee prices, fixed. If you're accusing Uhuru Kenyatta of failure to complete a road completed. If you're accusing Uhuru Kenyatta of doing what, Uhuru managed to fix all those. And lastly, on President Uhuru Kenyatta's mistakes, not even lastly, on early campaigns, is the strategy. You know, the fact that the DP began early campaigns, it gave Uhuru Kenyatta that opportunity to study him, understand him, his strategy, his next move. So Uhuru Kenyatta was able to counter William Ruto's moves each and every step. Remember, Uhuru Kenyatta is the president of the Republic of Kenya, has access to intelligence reports. So the first mistake Ruto made was that of early campaigns. The second mistake, which took place recently, is the choice of the running mate. The truth of the matter is that the choice of Rigathi Gachagua as William Ruto's running mate has not served the purpose it was originally intended for. Rigathi Gachagua is not exciting. He has a past history. There is this thing moving that Samido father was killed in Molo when Gachagua was the DO. May his soul rest in peace. Is something which is appearing to be light, but it's not. That's a darling of the Kikuyus in terms of music. Do you think Samido can share a platform with Rigathi Gachagua? What if a media house will give him an opportunity to narrate the story again? Yeah. So the running mate, the choice of running mate, Rigathi Gachagua sat on Kibaki, sat on Matiba, he sat on every other person in the mountain. And of course, his mouth is also loose. Sometimes he speaks things which he ought not to have spoken. So it's also affecting the deputy president. The third mistake on Ruto's mistake, in my view, is targeting Uhuru Kenyatta. William Ruto was able to attack Raila Odinga, was able to hide behind behind Uhuru, to attack. Number 3 is targeting Uhuru Kenyatta. You see, the fact that the deputy president identified Uhuru Kenyatta and started fighting him is something which is going to regret to live. The third mistake which the deputy president committed, in my view, is targeting President Uhuru Kenyatta using his allies. The deputy would go to a rally, his allies would attack President Uhuru Kenyatta. You see, Uhuru Kenyatta, in my view, was or is the president of the Republic of Kenya. Uhuru Kenyatta was voted to the last man by the same people. So the same people might have problem with him, but they might change their mind. The truth is, the problem Uhuru Kenyatta has with the Kikuyu nation is totally different from the problem Ruto has with Uhuru. So if the Kikuyu nation will sort out their problem with Uhuru Kenyatta, then it means William Ruto will be left. And again, this also reinforced attacks on him from the deep state, from people who believed in Uhuru Kenyatta. People started now exposing the DP. So those 3 are the mistakes which Ruto crafted for himself. And in my second theory, I think there are strategies which Uhuru Kenyatta himself has crafted. And that's why he's outwitting the deputy president. Number 1 was the handshake. You know, when the handshake took place, Raila Odinga supporters never embraced it. Uhuru Kenyatta supporters never embraced it. Later on, Raila Odinga supporters embraced it. Uhuru Kenyatta supporters never embraced it. But the truth is, after that handshake, William Ruto started fighting Uhuru Kenyatta. So maybe Uhuru intended the handshake to achieve that. That handshake was also an opportunity for Raila Odinga to introduce Uhuru Kenyatta to his stronghold. And therefore, his people started embracing him. It is that handshake which now enabled Raila Odinga to start embarking on the mountain. There are people who not associate themselves with Raila Odinga, but after that handshake, and because they were supporting Raila Odinga, they started moving together. The second strategy, which most people underrate, is the failed BBI. Sometimes I even tend to think that the BBI was never intended to succeed. It was actually intended to fail, but to achieve objectives, political objectives. The truth is that BBI exposed Ruto to the mountain. The mountain wanted one thing which they were calling 1 man, 1 vote, 1 shilling. The guy who was vocal on that is actually Rigathi Gachagua. So BBI came with those, and because the deputy president didn't like it, so he had to go and oppose it. So after opposing it, it collapsed. But now politically, the mountain are like, wewe ulitonyima 1 man, 1 vote, 1 shilling campaign. And then number 3, third strategy by Uhuru Kenyatta is the choice of the running mate. Uhuru Kenyatta went out of his way and picked Martha Karua for Raila Odinga. The truth is, the nomination of Martha Karua as Raila Odinga's running mate has done more justice to Raila Odinga than what Rigathi Gachagua is doing to the deputy president. By choosing Martha Karua, Uhuru Kenyatta achieved several things. Number 1, he delinked himself from the campaign, because most people always saw Uhuru Kenyatta hand in everything. But Martha Karua is someone who is not known to be a puppet of Uhuru Kenyatta. Number two, it also brought the reform credentials or the reform team, Martha Karua, Raila Odinga. And if you are keen, majority of people who believes in reforms are nowadays running towards Raila Amolo Odinga. And lastly is the persuasive strategy. Raila Odinga, Martha Karua, and their strategy is simple: persuasion. For Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua, it's like force. They're telling William Kabogo, they're telling Moses Kuria, you either join or not. You must vote for Ruto. Ruto amechukua hii kitu. So there's nothing. So the truth of the matter is that, in my view, I think President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga are outwitting the deputy president. And that's why William Ruto is also changing strategy by trying to focus more now on the Luhya nation. I don't know what you think, but that's my take. Again, for those watching the channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Thank you guys, and please may you have a good day. Bye-bye.